So we had to wait a couple extra days, but we got to see how Iseleve, aka I Got a Cheat Skill in Another World, would wrap up its first season, and man, the Harem King did it again. This boy has an unmatched power level at navigating multiple love interests. Not only did casual pig in a blanket negate the crazy corruption that was going on with this psycho girl, he did what I was wondering, could he do? Could he attempt Mount Everest and climb it and succeed? And he did, because not only did he remove the major threat just by having his casual pig companion negate it, he solved once again another issue with Mountain Dew, because let's be honest, every time he pulls out that green gamer fuel, that should be solving things like no tomorrow. But the fact that during the credits we get to see that not only does he casually introduce to his old GF, his first GF all things considered, the girl who started this entire chain of events into bringing him in kind of out of his shell and conquering the world. He introduces the crazy bitch that tried to kill him as, hey, this is gonna be your new poly wife here, you're just gonna have to accept it. We see that the princess, as soon as she meets a new beauty, immediately invites her into the tub. This show is wild. It absolutely is. Like, at a moment's notice, it feels like we go through 10 light novels. And I love that, because the amount of times these wild premises are almost taken too seriously and will actually try to pace it or stretch it out for like an entire season. This show says no. The classmate who probably will eventually discover the door, yeah, she accidentally discovered it, he invited her right in. So yeah, she comes over, she'll probably just randomly stumble in. Oh, hey, this Prince storyline where he tried to kill the princess, we already established the fact that when someone tries to kill the princess, she can forgive pretty easy. Everyone's banging their head against the wall, the king's basically he's going bald. Owen's still considering writing up his 1 week notice. He's not even gonna give you the full 2 weeks. He's gonna dip after a week. This show's wild, man, and I had an absolute blast with it. Full live reaction to episode 13 or any of the previous episodes are available on my Patreon. If you do want to see my full and cut thoughts to this episode or any of them, you can head over there and consider supporting it. This has legit been one of my favorite shows to cover this season, whether on Patreon or here on YouTube, because I just don't know what to expect. What started off as like this really interesting character drama story about a guy who had like such self-hatred and self-loathing aspects about himself. It was really well written with how he was trying to, like, they were perceiving someone who goes from absolute despise to the world worshipping the ground he walks on. And then around the midway point, just they decide to say pedal to the metal, no brakes, we ain't slowing down here. If there's a line of cars, we're just crashing right through this. This train had no brakes, and we went to such insane lengths that honestly, man, the fact that he can just so casually pull out this legendary item in this world, because literally when he read the description the first time, it talks about how it's incredibly rare. He pulls a little gamer fuel on this man and he's A-okay, his hatred and his rage is all gone. And then he can just casually say, yeah, I got a bunch in my garden, don't worry about it. As in this economy, somehow he ends up with a mansion and a second vacation home because that's just the Yuya charm. This was absolutely wild. And this show, it's always had production issues. That wasn't a last week thing. The show's been pretty ugly. A lot of this show's run, like a lot of it just rarely moves. The thing that's always held the show together is it had pretty good art direction more often than not. I mean, I was saying it since the beginning of this show that the 3D looked very similar to Black Summoner, which a lot of people ripped into. I was like, it's fine, it's what it is, it is what it is. But this show to me has always been about the just insane VAs just going so overblown and just having an absolute blast watching this. And really, you could leave this satisfied in a way. It's kind of weird because it's obviously based on an ongoing show, but like an ongoing source material, but there's something about the idea that this big threat that I thought would be like carried into season 2 or something just ends up negated, apparently coming to school in the real world. And our boy he has such an impressive harem already that's just going to continue to blossom. And at this point, you could just leave feeling satisfied that his life got better. They remind us that the siblings are here. I thought they wrote them out, but I guess they're nice now. Whatever, I don't really care, but at least they didn't set his house on fire like I thought they were going to after he pushed away the street thugs that tried to jump the school at the beginning of this show. Just every time I thought I knew where the show was going, it just pulled the rug, and eventually I stopped trying to get back up. I said, you know what, Iseleve, whatever you're gonna show me, be goddamn wild, because the Harem King has just a power level that you can't even try to comprehend. It's like this show wanted to be simultaneously a parody on the Isekai fantasy genre and all these wild story arcs that are usually light novels upon light novels long, and this show would like do multiple of those in a single episode and just be so unapologetically wild. Like, to have a teacher just in the middle of a school trip be like, hey, let's get married, and other teachers and students would have to be like, hello, police, what the hell's going on here? And then he'd go suplex a bear, and she'd be all sobered up, still saying the same thing, and just every step of the way, every character either wanted to be Yuya, or were questioning what the hell is wrong with Yuya, and it didn't matter if he was in fantasy world or his normal world, it just didn't matter. But I did appreciate that the final moment when basically he's kind of like, because he like throws his giant spear because something was about to jump our girl, and he's like saying, I'm a cheat, I'm a fake. And obviously that's been eating away at him for a while, feeling like, I mean, you can rewind 4 episodes back, give or take, maybe a bit more. It was when they were on the class trip, and he's had to stop playing the card game because his skills just made him always win, so he felt like a cheat. This has been something that I've talked about before, but obviously it's easy to forget about given how wild this show's actually become recently. But the idea of him feeling like a fake and an imposter and everything, it's understandable. Because this show had just such fun with the absurd, and I think most anime fans can agree, even on our favorite shows, a lot of times when we strip down the ideas of the show, they do sound silly when it comes to transported to another world, where whether we're going through a portal in our house, getting isekai by Truck-kun, a lot of it is silly, and this show almost took objectively the worst ideas from all these genres slash anime within the isekai and just made fun of them and itself while having a great lead character that you actually wanted to root for. They did amazing. They absolutely did. They absolutely did amazing with Yuya as a character, made him likable and lovable. Half the time you just wanted to smack him upside the head, be like, you adorable stupid cinnamon roll, you don't even see what's happening, but we love you, because they did a good job with the first handful of episodes making us feel bad about where he was, where he currently is, and this show was fun. That's all it wanted to be. I keep saying this is not even going to be close to a masterpiece. I mean, this is like a down the middle show, all things considered, but it's so fun, it's so ludicrous. Yet the ideas that it was working with, I haven't seen executed this well with how okay the show wanted to be as a whole. And if they made a season 2, I would watch it. But as I said, I think this could work as a very satisfying stopping point. And this was hands down one of the most fun shows I watched this season, even though it wasn't my personal favorite overall. Stuff like Vinland Saga is clearly my favorites of the season, but this show, pure fun, and I am absolutely going to miss it. But hey, that's just my feelings. Let me know what you thought, whether of this last episode, the show as a whole. Do you want to see a season 2? Whatever you feel, let me know down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new around here. Of course, ring that bell so you can get notified when I upload more videos to the channel. And hey, as I mentioned, we do have full live reaction to all 13 of these episodes available on my Patreon. And while you're there, you can also get a video shout out. So today we have Zop, Devin, Ryuga, Yoraluka, and Subject 3. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care and have a good one.